What's going on, everyone? I'm over here in Chit Lom. We're going to walk over to Siam. And I want to talk about a quote by Maya Angelou today, which is, you can't use up your creativity. The more you use, the more you have, which is a fantastic saying and so true. So let's get going and talk about it. All right, guys, here we go. Bit of a busy day. A little windy as well, so we'll see how this sounds. Over here in Chit Lom, and like I said, we're walking over to Siam Square, and then I'll be going around there a little bit today as well. This is a really kind of center part of the city. If I would say if Bangkok had a downtown, this is probably it. Siam, Chit Lom, National Stadium area, this kind of little circle would most likely be the downtown area of Bangkok, in my opinion, or at least the downtown area of Sukhumvit. So, wait to cross the street here. This is Mercury. Little tiny mall in the city. Has a vegan restaurant in there. Has a couple cafes, a gym up top. So we're just waiting for the traffic to subside so we can cross. And yeah, I wanted to talk about, creativity and Maya Angelou's quote. Oh, we got a green walkie guy. So talk about creativity, Maya Angelou's quote that you can't use up your creativity. The more you use it, the more you have it, which I think is, one, 100% true, but also a great way to look at it. Basically, using it flexes it. Think of it like a muscle. Your creativity is a muscle, or it's like your cardiovascular fitness. The more of it you use, the more you develop. Just like lifting weights. You lift heavy stuff, you're gonna get stronger and you're gonna be able to lift heavier stuff. You use your creativity more, you flex it more, you work it, you're gonna get to the point where you're more creative. And it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. Just like working out, just like exercising, it's incremental gains. You get a little stronger each time you work out. Maybe you don't even notice it. Each time you create something, you become a bit more creative. And I think that's the right way to think about creativity, or really any skill. Same is true with writing, per se. When I first started writing 20 years ago, I wasn't that good. I would argue I probably sucked. And then I kept doing it, and I got to the point where, a magazine reached out and offered to pay me to write for them. I was like, yeah, of course. Some motorbikes whipping by here. And then it got, I became better and better at it. More people knew my work, and I got invited to write more places. I think the same is true for creative work. When I first started, delving into the world of design and working on creative projects, I very much sucked. I would argue in a lot of ways today, I still suck. But I continue to push forward. I hope I get better with every single project, every single day that I put work in. I would like to think that I'm improving. That is at least my goal. So, when I think about Maya Angelou's statement, the more you use, the more you have, 100% true, 110% true. Speaking of 110%, let's zip over here real quick and I'll show you guys something. So, it's one of my favorite spots in the city. I've been coming here for years and years. I used to schedule a lot of meetings here. I would have like pre-lunch meetings and I would schedule them here. But this has also become one of Mike's favorite spots, and that is BKK Bagel. Probably the best bagel spot in Bangkok, all around, at least in my experience. I'd be more than happy to find other bagel spots and try them and compare. So if you guys know a bagel spot in Bangkok that's not BKK Bagels, let me know, because I will be the first person to rush over and try it. I do like their veggie monger sandwich though, it is quite nice. A little pumpernickel bagel, I like the pumpernickel, but you can get any bagel, but I go pumpernickel with all the veggies, extra hummus. It's a winner every time for me. But yeah, Mike independently discovered this place on his own and now is like addicted. That's like his default morning stop, despite the fact that he lives all the way on Lower Sukhumvit like I do. It's that good. That good that Mike will make like a 40-minute commute to get a bagel. Their coffee, not so great. Bagels, top notch. There's a really nice cafe called Camelot inside this Amarin Mall that has some really good sandwiches and avocado toast if you fancy that type of thing. Quite nice. But yeah, creativity, like I said, the more you use, the more you have. Just like lifting weights, just like going for a run. No one runs a marathon on their first run or their second. It takes time to build up that level of endurance and strength. You know, the ability to run properly. And I think weightlifting's a great example, a great comparison here, because it's not just doing it repetitively. You don't just run more. You work on your technique. You work on your, you know, what is your strike? What's your pull? Same thing with lifting, right? You look at, you know, how you lift. You look at, you know, where is your extension at? How are you contracting the muscle? All those things come into play. And the same is true. The same is 100% true for creativity. It's not just about doing it over and over again. It's improving your technique. It's like I work on graphic design, so a lot of the graphic design I'm doing currently, it's all t-shirt design stuff, but it's, you know, how do I tweak my designs just a little bit so they look just right? You know, how do I add dimension? How do I add depth? You know, how do I make this more readable? Those are the types of questions you want to ask. You know, on top of that, like I might do like garment design, you know, which I do quite a bit, obviously. And with denim, right? What are the seams going to look like? What's the stitching look like? How do I put this together? I'm constantly looking to improve those techniques. You know, and I ask myself, you know, should this be a flat fell just because it always is, or can I do something different here? Does this have to be a French seam? How can I do this? Can I tape this seam? What are my options? You know, so there are countless possibilities. If you look up ahead, up above, you see the train. But this is also the sky bridge that goes from Chit Lom over to Siam. I opted not to take that. Here's Erewhon Shrine. This is where that terrorist attack happened. A bunch of people died. Quite tragic, a few years back. I was actually on the train overhead when that happened. And I remember, you know, hearing like a boom, thinking it was like a car accident or something, not understanding that there had been a bombing. But it's quite a beautiful area. So pre-COVID, this area would always be packed with Chinese tourists. Oh, very loud, very loud. Yeah, I remember when the bomb went off, like I said, I was overhead right here on the train, up here on the train. I thought like maybe it was an accident or something. I wasn't exactly sure what happened. And when I got to the destination I was going to, all my friends were like, oh, did you hear there was just a bombing? And then back, I was like, what? And then Jib was messaging me like, oh my God, there was a terrorist attack. Are you okay? You know, where are you? Because I wasn't checking my phone. And she was nervous that she couldn't get in touch with me. Well, I've got the green guy all the way across. Quite a large intersection to traverse. Whew, that guy just did not want to stop. No green guy for him. Little lady selling flowers. There's some big sexy motorcycles. cubics. This bike looks like it should be electric, but it's not. Interesting bike though. Here's Central World across the street. Massive mall, if you guys have never been to Central World. Absolutely massive. There's a hospital. The most inappropriately placed food cart probably in the city. I think it's a hospital anyway, I'm like 90% sure. You see some of the garden up here on top of Central World. Central World is a massive mall. I mean, there are big malls and then there's big malls. In Central World, Siam Paragon, they fall into that big malls category for sure. That's very cool architecture in the back building there. Quite nice. I'll take a look at that actually. Why not? Get a better look. So how do you guys use your creativity? Are you constantly working on the little techniques, improving the little things, getting better? Or, are you just kind of going through mindless repetitions? And, exercise is the same way. I remember when I first started working out when I was a kid, like 6th grade or something, and my father put a small bench in the basement with some cement weights, and I would just kind of go through the motions. I didn't understand contractions of the muscle, I didn't understand good technique, proper form. Well, hold on. So I didn't understand any of that, proper technique, proper form, anything like that. And, as a result, it took me a few years until I learned that from other people, and I started to make real progress. I would say by the time I was in junior high, I really started to, understand from coaches and stuff, the technique and the forms I needed to do, the things I needed to focus on. I didn't understand it at the time, but I started to learn about it, the concept of mind-muscle connection, and put those things into play. And of course I was a really big kid anyway. I was in 6th grade. I was like 5'11", 200 pounds. So a bit on the larger side. And I had a frame that just allowed me to pack on some muscle. But those techniques helped me make the progress. And with creativity, it was very much the same for me, right? Learning, just doing creative things didn't make me more creative, but it still gave me a passion to do it. But learning the little techniques, learning the forms, if you will, helped me progress and helped me get more out of every exercise. And just like lifting weights, just like running, I got stronger with each workout. With creativity, as I got stronger with each exercise, got more creative, I was able to do more. I often forget how busy this part of the city is. I think they call this part of, oh, there goes the bus. I think they call this part of Central World Groove. There's a cool little head statue right there. But yeah, I think they call it, yeah, Groove. It's right there on the lawn, Groove. Is this part, they were building this when I first moved here. It took years to finish. Not Central World, but the Groove part of Central World was under construction for probably the first 2 or 3 years I lived in Bangkok. I don't know if this looks like it might be a palace or a military compound here next to me. I know that one of the princess has a palace here. And I also know that there's a military, oh, here we go. Royal Thai Police Headquarters. Right? So this is the police headquarters, which means the palace for the princess must be the compound on the other side of the street. Yeah, such a cool area. I don't know what this guy, oh, there's someone getting out here. Yeah, so here's the Royal Thai Police Headquarters. Yeah, so this whole compound must be, I'm assuming, the princess's palace. And actually, I was out one time, funny story. I was out one time walking, and she was apparently walking on the street, and there were guards up on the skywalk just kind of slowing people down so no one was like overhead of her while she was walking, but you could still kind of see her. And, you know, just like a safety thing. But still, the fact that she would, you know, just go out and walk pretty confident. And not like a huge security detail either. As I remember, there was just a couple people up above blocking, not even blocking, but like I said, just kind of slowing down foot traffic on the bridge. And then a few people with her, assuming it was her. I didn't obviously get close enough to see, but it seemed pretty laid back and unobtrusive, which was not what I would have expected. So it was a bit refreshing. I don't think that's a parking spot. Pretty sure you can't park the Siemens truck right in front of the bus stop. There's some bikes you can rent. Oh, it even looks like they're locked up. Huh. There must be some type of lock in the hub. Usually you see a lock on the rear wheel with rental bikes like this. Oh, maybe not. Not sure what the deal is. It rolled just fine. Maybe you can just use it. I don't know. Something loud going on over here. Must be a generator for the station. There's a big intersection up here. So, you know, going back to the creativity thing, I think I'm gonna have to go up the stairs. I don't think I'm gonna be able to cross here. But going back to creativity, you know, before I worked with creative stuff, before I worked with design every day, a big part of my life was focused on, you know, when can I spend time on creative things and how can I schedule it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to go upstairs. So I'll wrap this up here, guys. But so I'll finish this thought. Like I said, before that, a big part of my life, a big part of my day was spent on, you know, how can I be creative? What creative things can I do to reach my goals? Oh, and I would spend time scheduling those activities. Now that, you know, I do design all day, I create things all day, my position's a little different, where instead of scheduling things to do creatively, I have to focus on the skills I need to improve creatively. And so I try to integrate those into my daily tasks. And so that's a big part of how I structure things and how I structure my day. And yeah, it works for me right now. I mean, when I get the opportunity to push myself really creatively or work with someone else in that regard, I definitely take the opportunity, because like Maya Angelou said, the more you use, the more you have. And having more in the creative space is always important, right? Because you're constantly pushing yourself to be more creative, or you should be. You know, if you're just going through the motions, what's the point of doing it? Anyway, guys, I will wrap this up here. Appreciate you hanging with me, taking the walk. And until next time, keep taking action, make your ideas reality.